Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got some homemaking inspiration for you. I've got a few dinners that I've made recently, and I'm taking you along as I've been learning to make some of my own bread products like sandwich bread, naan bread, and tortillas. I was always buying all three of those things, but I have recently learned to make them, so I'm getting some practice in with making those and showing myself that I can make my own. I don't have to buy it. So I want you to feel inspired that you can make your own too, if that's something that you're wanting to do. So come along with me and hang out with me today. So for tonight's supper, I have some leftover pieces of chicken from a roasted chicken. So I'm gonna use those. I'm gonna pressure cook these beans. I have these baby lima beans left over, and I'll add in some of these Great Northern beans. I'm gonna cook those in my Instant Pot. And then I have 2 cans of these diced green chilies left. So I'm gonna use those up, and all of this is going to equal white chicken chili. So that is the plan tonight. That's what we're gonna have. I have some chicken bone broth that I will use in the soup. But first I'm gonna start by getting my beans ready and cooking those in my Instant Pot. Once those are finished and drained, then I'll throw everything together into the Instant Pot and probably just put it on slow cook. Just cook it on low for pretty much the rest of the day. And that's the plan for supper. I'll probably also make some corn muffins to go with this. I have some cornmeal, so that's the plan. So I'm just gonna fill it up to the max line. That's what I usually do. I have about 1 pound of beans in here, and that will be plenty for my white chicken chili. Now I'm gonna add some salt, just so the beans can start absorbing a little bit of seasoning. But most of the seasoning will be in the bone broth. So this is just, while they're absorbing this water, it can be a little bit salty, and go ahead and season them a little bit. And I'm going to put these on pressure cook for about 35 minutes. Making sure it's on seal. And then I've got it 35 minutes here. Okay, so I have some bacon grease in the bottom of my Instant Pot here. Use whatever fat you want to. Sometimes I might use avocado oil or olive oil or coconut oil. So I'm gonna add my onion cut up, and this is on the saute function on my Instant Pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that sauteed, and then I'm gonna add my garlic right after that and saute that in there. And then I'll add my 2 cans of green chilies after my garlic is done sauteing. Ooh. Okay, so I've got my onions and my garlic. Now I'm gonna add my chilies. Mix that in. And I've already added some salt and pepper. The spices I'm gonna add are cumin. If we can focus on that. There we go. So the spices I'm gonna add are cumin, a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of Italian seasoning. If I just had oregano by itself, I would do that. But I don't have that, so I'll just add Italian seasoning, and then some coriander. So I'm gonna add those in next. Okay, so I've got onions, garlic, chilies, and my spices in here. Now I'm gonna add in my chicken and my beans. Then I'll add the bone broth, and then I'll let that slow cook for a few hours, and then when it's time to eat, I'll add in sour cream, which is optional. It's just gonna make it creamy. And then I'll top it with some fresh cilantro. In this bag, I had not very much cornmeal, so that would definitely not be enough, but thankfully I found this bag. So this is what I've got left of the cornmeal. So this bag is used up, and I've still got plenty left in this one for future meals. I will link this recipe because it's not mine, and you can see what I'm using, but I have 1 cup of cornmeal, 1 1/4 cups of cane sugar, 2 1/4 cups of flour. That's what we've got so far. Okay, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna get that going. And then we're gonna add the wet ingredients to this once I get those mixed up. Okay, now I'm gonna whisk together my wet ingredients. So it's 2 eggs, a cup of sour cream, a cup of milk, and then it said 2/3 of a cup of a neutral oil. So I'm going with some avocado oil that I got the other day from Azure. So I also got this sour cream the other day from Azure. So those are new things, but I'm still using up a pantry item by using up the cornmeal. So I'm gonna call that good. Found a few of these, so that works out great. I don't make a whole lot of muffins or cupcakes or anything, so I don't typically have a lot of these, but I found these in the back of my cabinet, so that works out. And I think because of some of the ingredients I have, I think I'm gonna make some breakfast type muffins soon. And so if I have any of these left, I'll use them for that. So I sprayed them with a little of this avocado spray, but listen, look at all these puddles. This stuff, like, it doesn't use an aerosol, so it doesn't spray as nicely as you'd like it to. It kind of just squirts all over the place, but it doesn't have a bad oil. It's avocado oil, but this is kind of what it looks like when you spray with it. All right, here it is. Again with my handy dandy ice cream scoop. I'm gonna use that to scoop some batter in each cup. Let's see if I can do it while holding the camera at the same time. There we go. So we'll get the batter in all the cups, pop it in the oven at 400. Here's the chicken chili, turned out really good. I was gonna add sour cream to it, but I have a little bit of cream left over here, so I'm just gonna add that to it, and I'm gonna put sour cream, cheese, and cilantro on the table, so those can be added if anybody wants that. So I'm just gonna add this cream in, and that's it.
This smells good. Piper, see those corn muffins? Piper, those corn muffins. Are there corn muffins in here?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, corn muffins. Wow. These are rated extra strawberry.
So this recipe says that it made 12, but this is how much is left. So there's quite a bit left. So I will bake the rest of this when the others come out and then probably freeze them for later. Okay, this is a quick Walmart haul. This was about $150 and it didn't go super far, but this is what I got. Tons of produce, some flours, some baking ingredients, some butter, a little bit of cheese, a couple of household things, this little sponge that has the spot where you can put the soap. That's gonna be for the shower, just for maintenance. And then some freezer gallon bags and some iced tea. So I'll show you. They didn't give me the best looking bananas by any means, but when you do delivery, you know, you don't get to pick your own produce or with pickup, so it's kind of a trade-off. But these will all get eaten and some will get frozen for smoothies, so no big deal, it's fine. So we've got some baby spinach, there's the bananas, some cilantro. I got the cilantro, some limes, and some tomatoes. I think I was supposed to get 2 bags, but I'm planning to try to make some salsa. I'm gonna try to make that homemade. I'm sure it's super easy, and I'm hoping to can it. And then when I'm practicing, so that when my tomatoes are in, then I'll be able to make salsa and already have a good recipe. So I'm kind of recipe testing salsa. So that's what the tomatoes, the limes, and the cilantro is for. Got some flowers just for our table, and because we don't have flowers in the garden yet, but it won't be long. Some broccoli, some snap peas, a squash, some baby bello mushrooms, some sweet peppers, and we've got some Parmesan cheese, just a couple of sharp cheddar cheese. That will be going on my next Azure order. So will flour. But this is just a fill-in for now. This is 10 pounds of flour. It is cheaper through Azure, and it's still organic and unbleached and everything. So that will be on the next Azure order. Same thing with these, this organic cane sugar, better price through Azure, I'm noticing. So I will stock up on that a little better there. Like I said, these things, and some iced tea bags so that we're not buying that, and to keep us away from other drinks, sugary drinks. And then I got these caraway seeds because I'm planning to hopefully make some rye bread. I'm ordering some rye flour on my next Azure order, so I wanted to go ahead and get those. And I use caraway in another recipe with chuck roast, and that's something that I'll be sharing pretty soon. So I went ahead and got those, and then I got a bunch of butter because I'm out and I needed to go ahead and get that. I'm really gonna work on stocking up on butter much better, and hopefully next year, or later this year, we'll be able to really stock up on that and do a better job managing that and other fats. So learning a lot from the pantry challenge. This was this week's groceries. So today I'm going to attempt to make salsa so that when I grow lots of tomatoes this year, which I'm hoping to, then I'll have some practice in making it already. So these are grocery store bought tomatoes. They were the tomatoes on the vine. So I'm going to make all of this into some salsa, and that'll give me some practice. This is how it's going. I've got my fan on, so I've got my fan on because of all the smoke, but I think it's going well. This looks similar to the videos that I watched. You just want the tomatoes to be really soft, because, you know, imagine having to mash everything with a molcajete, which is like a mortar and pestle. So that's kind of what I'm keeping in mind when I'm deciding if they're done or not. I'll show you what everything else looks like. So everything else looks really similar to the videos I watched. Nice and charred. So once my tomatoes are finished, then we'll put it all in the food processor. thinking for lunch, I'm using up the rest of some panko breadcrumbs that I had, and I am making some homemade chicken nuggets. So I just salted the chicken really well, and then I put it into some egg wash over here, and then right into the panko, and frying it in my pan here. I used some bacon grease that I had left over and some coconut oil, so that's what I'm frying it in. And this used up the rest of that box of panko breadcrumbs, so that was a good use of another pantry item, and the kids will be happy, excited to have some fresh homemade chicken nuggets today. So these are the rest of the chicken nuggets. This will not be enough for one more lunch, so I will use these chicken nuggets and pair it with some apples and something else to bulk up one more lunch, and then these will be used up. That's my homemade chicken nuggets. Here I'm taking you along as I learn to make flour tortillas. So this is the first time that I've tried making homemade flour tortillas, and they worked out really well. I will link the YouTube channel with the recipe that I learned these from. I think I did a pretty decent job for the first time ever making them, but they were definitely not perfect. But I definitely learned that this is something I can do, and I will try to do it again. Woo! In my food processor, I've got my salsa ingredients plus some fresh cilantro. So we're gonna give that a buzz and see how it goes. All right, let's check it out. Looks good. I went ahead and canned the rest of that salsa. It turned out really good, really tasty. So this is something that I'll be able to add to my pantry shelf. Tonight's dinner, we're gonna have chicken tikka masala. This is something that the kids love, that everybody always eats really well, and it's even some of my kids' favorite dinner. So it just involves some chicken, some onions, some garlic, some tomato paste, a bunch of spices, and a little bit of bone broth. And then at the end, I'll add in usually either some cream or some yogurt, depending on what I have. And that makes it nice and creamy. I serve it with rice and naan bread. But I was buying naan bread, like from Costco or another grocery store. So tonight I'm gonna try for the first time to make homemade naan bread. So we'll see how that goes. That's something else that I was hoping to learn to make this year so I can buy less bread products, but make them myself. So let's see what happens. Okay, we've got chicken breast, we've got avocado oil, some onions, some garlic, some curry powder, and some garam masala. And then I'm about to put a can of tomato paste in here. And then I'll put in the rest of this bone broth and let it simmer. And then I will get some cream in here and it'll be finished. Got a bubble. That's a good sign.
No. Why?
Flip it, I think.
All
right, not bad, not bad. Here's the chicken tikka before the cream. This is how the naan bread is going. This has been really fun and good. So my conclusion would be that naan bread is a little bit easier than tortillas. You don't have to roll it out as thin. It was just a few ingredients that I always have on hand, so I think this is something I can definitely make when we are wanting to eat naan bread. So very exciting. I'm glad that I tried this, and I think it's something I can keep doing for my family. On the next night, I'm using up some canned chicken and making something that I've made for years that we call chicken pockets. So it's canned chicken, it's some caramelized onions, some garlic, and then whichever herb or seasoning of your choice. I'm using Italian seasoning in this. And then I add some cream cheese to it. And I'm gonna put all of that inside of some puff pastry. I had some frozen puff pastry, so I was able to use that up also. And it makes these cute little chicken pockets. It's little pastries that are filled with this chicken and cream cheese mixture. It's really delicious and they bake up beautifully. And I usually serve them with a salad. finally came up with a really good sandwich bread recipe. All the kids really enjoy it. It works as hamburger buns, as sandwich bread, all kinds of things. So be on the lookout for that video coming soon. The next night I made some roasted veggie chicken and Alfredo pasta. This is something that I make pretty often with whatever vegetables I have. I just get them all roasted up. I cook a little bit of chicken in the pan or use some leftover chicken. I make my own Alfredo sauce, which is really simple, and throw it over some pasta, and this is a favorite in our house. I hope this gave you a little bit of inspiration today. I have an entire homemaking playlist on my channel if you'd like to check that out. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.